Okay, thank you. So being that it is 6:30 on October 3rd, we will open the meeting of, the October 3rd meeting of the Board of Selectmen, and if you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And as we do, we don't have a huge agenda tonight, so we have a number of appointments and that type of thing. But the way we normally start our selectmen meetings is with public announcements. So I know the board, everybody has something to announce, but before we start, I'd like to make a statement. And because it's part of our public announcements, I'll make that statement, and I will, at this time, I will not be entertaining comment on the statement. So, at the September 12th meeting of the Board of Selectmen, the board heard public comment after an update about the police staffing. And during that public comment section, the board was asked by residents and by the president of the police union to take action and investigate or hire a third party to investigate why officers are transferring off the force. As follow-up to that request, members of the board and I have received emails from residents and from the president of the police union seeking that same action. On September 22nd, a letter was sent to the offices of the Massachusetts Attorney General, Martha Healy, and to our District Attorney, Timothy Cruz, asking them to review the request and take whatever steps, investigative or otherwise, that they deem necessary. So, anyone seeking an update or additional update on this matter, I would direct you and your inquiries directly to the Office of the Attorney General and/or the District Attorney. That concludes my statement. Thank you very much for listening. Now, moving along to the board for public announcements. Bob, would you like to go first?
Thank you, Maureen.
You're very welcome.
Abington Town Hall flu vaccinations. We all know winter's approaching quicker than we want it to be, but in preparation for the upcoming flu season, the Abington Health Department with the Home and Health Resources will hold a flu vaccination clinic at the Abington Town Hall, the Carter Room on the second floor, on October 18th, 2016, between 2 and 4 p.m. This is open to Abington residents and town employees. ID is required. Adults 18 over, please bring a Medicare card if it's eligible. Serviced on behalf of the South Shore Health Service System Home Care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the Abington Celebrates group, if you remember, on Founders Day, Flag Day, we did a whole weekend of events, and we're doing it again for Oktoberfest. On Friday, October 14th, there will be a German dinner at the Polish Club. It's going to be called the German Club for one day.
Nice.
55 Whale Street. It's sponsored by the Hug Foundation and the Polish Club. It's $10 per person, $25 for a family, and it is family friendly. You can buy tickets online or you can get them at the door. Also on Friday, October 14th, there's an evening with Jim Plunkett at Players Sports Bar, sponsored by, on VFW Drive in Rockland, sponsored by Abington Education Foundation. It's $20 in advance, $25 at the door. And on to Saturday, St. Bridget School will have a freaky family 5K run and walk, starting at 8:30. I'm sure Andy's running in that. That's at St. Bridget School, sponsored by the PTO. The United Church of Christ will be doing an Oktoberfest Marketplace from 9 to 2 at 10 Bedford Street. 10th District Brewing will maybe get a pouring license tonight, and they'll be pouring some beer. There's a classic car show from 2 to 5 in the Lowe's parking lot, sponsored by the Boy Scouts, Troop 41. Not So Scary Woods from 2 to 6 at Island Grove. That's sponsored by the Lions. And then Saturday evening, starting at 6:30 at the bandstand up here by the library and town hall, the Hug Foundation again will be sponsoring a free outdoor movie night. It will be a kids-friendly movie. We don't know what the movie is yet, The snack bar will be open, and all the proceeds from the snack bar will support the Abington Substance Abuse Coalition. And Kenny will go on to the events for Sunday.
Right, as if that wasn't enough, another day, Sunday, October 16th. This is the weekend of the 14th, 15th, and 16th, and all these events are available on, if you go on Facebook, the Abington Celebrates has a page, you can search that. Sunday morning, we're going to repeat the pancake breakfast at the Legion. It was a good success on the last weekend we had. So pancake breakfast from 8 to 10:30, $8 a person, and a $25 family rate, the max. Something here too, something we just added, and Andy didn't want to read it, so I'm going to read it. Strawberry Valley Golf Course is having a Town Appreciation Day. That's from 8 to 3, tea times free to all Abington residents, only 9 holes of golf, hot dogs, soda chips, coffee, donuts. Just call the golf course and to schedule your tea time, so that's on Sunday. The big event, I guess, is, we were hemming and hawing on where to have it, but we decided we're gonna have it on the area of the Frollo and the Legion building. Is the Oktoberfest Family Celebration from 12 to 4, sponsored by the Jeffrey Coombs Foundation and the Sergeant Daniel Vasilian Memorial Fund, and that's gonna be lots of activities, music, food, beer, fun, Joe's Crazy Critters, petting zoo, bouncy house, kids games, hayride, raffles, and on and on and on. Also, in conjunction with that, we are going to the Abington Summer Concerts, is sponsoring a Oktoberfest, a German band, a polka band, so to speak, and that will be in that area too of the Legion. And last but not least, the Dog Park Committee is also going to have, and if anybody's a Facebook friend of this, the amount of work that they're putting into it is unbelievable, and they're going to have lots of raffles, but they have a dog costume contest and raffles from 12 to 4 by the Dog Park Committee, and that's also, I believe that's going to be on the Frollo School lawn, and the contest starts at 1:30, $3 to enter, and they're going to have lots of different raffle items there too. So that's it. Any questions, you can ask me or Alex, we're both on the committee, or just go to the Facebook page and like us, Abington Celebrates. Thank you.
Thank you. I like the, when will this be available, or is?
It just went to printers today, I believe, so it should be available soon. I think we're going to send it out to the schools also, so the
Great.
kids should each get one.
Great, awesome. I like the Abington Dog Park logo.
Yep.
It's very cute. Andy, do you have something?
I do not. Kenny stole my...
Yes. I wanted to read the golf course, but
All right, then. As a little aside, I obviously just drove by the high school. It's amazing how that's just popping up.
It's amazing.
Fabulous.
It's amazing.
All right. Okay, so then, that would be the end of our public announcements. Action discussion items this evening. So the first thing up is approval of the August 16th open session meeting minutes. Anyone?
I'd make a motion to approve as written.
And were we all
Second.
here? Make sure we're all here.
Yeah, you weren't
Look,
here.
I was not here, so I have to abstain. So we've got a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, all those, 4 in favor, 1 abstain. Thank you. Next, we have appointment to Griffin's Dairy Committee. Mr. Tom Peck, is Mr. Peck here? Hi, Mr. Peck, would you come up for a sec? Thank you. Usually, we just ask you to say who you are, where you live, and...
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, I said, usually we just ask you to tell us who you are, where you live, and why you're interested in being on the committee.
Okay, Tom Peck, 100 Lincoln Boulevard. I planted a garden up there this year, and I spent a lot of time there. And just people come by and, just listen to them, their opinions on what should be done with the land. And somebody asked me, you want to get on the committee? And here I am.
How'd your garden go?
Excuse me?
How did your garden go?
It was,
The deer ate,
it was
The
unbelievable.
dairy?
Oh, really?
well, the deer came in and ate everybody's tomatoes.
Really?
It was so dry, they needed
Yeah,
moisture.
they were looking for anything, I suppose.
So next year I'll get them.
Yours looked the best, Tom, without a doubt.
I got a plan.
So you'll be back next year, try it again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, good, awesome. Guys have any questions for Mr. Peck?
how many openings are there right now on Griffin's?
It's just the one.
Just
It
the
will be
one,
complete
okay.
now.
Okay. But
I make a
there's some
motion.
people, we have openings on other committees, so
Plenty.
go to the website and sign up. I'd make a motion to appoint Mr. Peck to the
Second
Griffin's
that.
Dairy.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous, thank you so much, Mr. Peck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your interest. When do these guys, when does that meet? Do they just meet periodically? I don't think
They have a
meet-
regular meeting
They do
schedule.
have a
I
regular.
don't know.
Okay, I'm sure I could find it if I needed to. All right, and moving along, we have an appointment to the Conservation Commission vacancy. It's a full voting member, term expiring 2018. Mr. John Conley?
Jim Conley.
Oh, Jim, I'm sorry, misread. Apologize for that. Now you can set me straight.
Jim Conley, Rockland Street.
Okay, and would you like to tell us why you'd be interested in the Conservation Commission?
I was on it for 15 years prior. Now I'm retired, and the grandkids all moved to Pennsylvania, so I got plenty of time.
Oh, sorry to hear that, but their loss, our gain.
They're doing okay. They seem to forget about me. They don't call as often anymore.
Stop, never. You guys have any questions?
Again, is this the only voting position?
Yes,
that's
it
out
is.
there? And we don't have any associates, correct? That's
correct.
No, we have no associates, although
Okay.
we did get an application for one today.
Good,
Oh, good.
okay.
Oh, good.
We always had 2, even 3.
Yep.
So if anyone else out there would like to get involved, please put in an application.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept Mr. Conley, the Conservation Commission?
I'll second that.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Welcome back. Also have an appointment to the Sage Committee. Krista Manna? Hi, Ms. Manna. Welcome.
Hi, Krista Manna, 641 Summer Street.
Thank you. And same question. Could you tell us a little about why you want to be on Sage?
I'm actually an architect, and I actually do quite a lot of lead projects, and I wanted to get more involved in my local community.
Fabulous. Good for you. And do we have, and Dory or Rick, do we have other spots on Sage now, or is there really?
Yes, after this, there'll be one additional vacancy.
Okay. All right, anyone have any questions?
No, motion to accept Chris Manna as a member of the Sage Committee.
Second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much,
Welcome
congratulations.
and thank
Thank
you.
you.
Welcome, thank you. They do very good things, Sage.
Just as Alex has already mentioned on several occasions, there are other boards looking for membership. We have associated memberships. Please go on our website and check it out. We'd love to have you join the town community servicing our town. Thank you.
Now, we have a couple of one-day liquor license applications, so we'll take them one at a time. The first one is for October 15th, from the Oktoberfest that Kenny and Alex were mentioning. This is for 10th District. So now, based on this, back to the original. Hi, hello, gentlemen.
Again,
could
Patrick
just-
Eddy, Dana George from 10th
Hi.
District.
Thank you, nice to see you.
As Mr. Bezanson mentioned earlier, we're here to request a one-day pouring permit for Saturday, October 15th. Saturday is a normal business day for us. We're typically open 11 to 4. We're requesting the pouring permit so that we can offer full pints, full pours, and would like to request that we stay open till about 7 PM. Again, we don't think it's going to be an all-night kind of event at our establishment. Most of you know, we were here a couple weeks ago, and we were approved for a permanent pouring permit. We're in the process of applying with the state. That'll take a little bit of time to get in place. So in order to participate in the Oktoberfest events, we would need a one-day pouring permit. And it'll be very similar sort of setup, we expect, as what we did on St. Patrick's Day last year, which was, we thought, a pretty successful event for us.
So you're looking 11 to 7.
11 to 7,
Okay.
and that's what we would recommend, yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you very
Have
much.
fun. See you there.
Thank you.
Bonja.
We'll all be by.
That's not German. That's not German.
I don't care.
It's Oktoberfest.
I don't care.
Oktoberfest. Okay. Kenny, do you want to do the second one?
Yeah, if I could.
Please.
The agenda item is one-day liquor license, Oktoberfest for Sunday, the 16th at the American Legion. Our original plan was to have the event at Griffin's Dairy, so we would definitely have needed a liquor license at that point. Right now, we're not sure exactly I mean, the Legion already has a liquor license, but we'd like to have one approved just in case we wanted to serve outside, put up a beer tent, that sort of stuff, and theirs probably would cover that, but just to be on the safe side, we want to make sure that we get approval for that. So,
And it would be on their property
Yes.
only, not over onto Frollo, if they do that.
yeah.
And that's on Sunday.
Right, and more than likely, I mean, they would be, their bartenders would be doing the serving, and they're all tip certified as it is, so.
Do you have hours, Ken?
The hours will be 12 to 4,
12 to 4.
yes.
Okay.
It may not even come to fruition, it may be that it's just to use the inside, but just
But
want
if
to
it's
have
a
it.
nice day, you want to be able to do that.
Yes.
Motion to accept or issue a one-day permit.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, great, good luck. Sounds like a great time. Hope you have a good day.
Can't have a Oktoberfest without a beer garden, so.
Absolutely not.
Agree.
I think it's against the law.
In Germany, it is.
Sure it is. All right, now we also have we're requesting approval of a one-day liquor license, October 30th. Now, this is a fundraiser at the Polish Club, different than Oktoberfest. This is for a period of time where they're going to serve outside from 12 PM to 11 PM, and this is with regard to a fundraiser after a softball game. Alex, did you have anything on that?
Yeah, this is going to be after the softball game for the Carterman family that the fire department is hosting, and they're doing their after-party at the Polish Club. Yeah, as you can see by the pictures, the Polish Club is completely fenced in now, and that's their smoking area, and they're just hoping to be able to have people be able to bring beer out in the smoking area, because if it's a good day, it's potentially going to be extremely crowded inside. So they're just looking for a one-day liquor license outside in the enclosed backyard smoking area.
Are they using just the upstairs for the fundraiser, do you know? Upstairs?
No,
Just the
we're going to use downstairs and upstairs, yeah. The only access to this smoking area is through the downstairs.
You're reading my mind. Okay. Anyone can entertain a motion for this?
Motion to accept a one-day permit to the Polish Club to sponsor this Carterman family fundraiser.
I will second it and also make a note that I know that, I'm guessing in the future that the owners are going to ask for this to be a permanent thing, because it was on the agenda for last meeting, but was pulled at the last minute, so I'm assuming, so I think this is a good trial run to see how it works and see if any neighbors have any concerns, so, again, I second that motion.
And they pulled it last time because the fence wasn't up and it wasn't ready, so they will be coming before us in the
So I
future.
think this is a great thing.
Yeah.
We'll get feedback from the neighbors.
And what day is October 30th?
It's a Sunday.
It's Sunday. Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second, I think, right? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain from
And
that.
one abstain. Okay, so it's 4 and 1 abstain, please. That was great. That was nice to be able to take care of those action items. Next item on the agenda is summary of town manager review. Unfortunately, I am going to actually ask that we push this off until the next meeting. I did have a meeting scheduled with the town manager today, and unfortunately, I could not make it. So I apologize for that, and I apologize for the last. But we'll definitely reschedule. I'll try to get that before our next meeting. I will commit to doing it before the next meeting. I'm sorry, guys. It's my fault. So if we can push that to the next meeting, I would appreciate that very much. Usually what we do also, then we also have town manager goals and objectives. This is something that we've been carrying forward since, I would say, Rick, ever since you came on board, I think.
Yes, I just want to, yeah, for clarification, I think we've kind of always considered it kind of our group goals and objectives, per se, not just a disclaimer there, but I think, I don't know to what extent you want to get into that tonight, but I do think that I have provided you a status update on the existing goals and objectives and a brief summary of those that have been submitted over a period of time now for going forward. So obviously, I think a lot of them are obviously carryovers. A lot of them, obviously, we're going to take some further conversation, whether that's now or some other time. But I'll leave it to you, Maureen, as to how you want to proceed with that.
I mean, I would ask the opinion of the board as well. There are some proposed goals in here, as well as the goals that, that we all had agreed to, and you're right, it's our overall mission statement, if you will, going forward, the things that we wanted to focus on. Board, would you want to talk in detail about these right now? Which we certainly can. It's up to you guys. If not, if we want to take some time and,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with doing it at the next meeting.
at the next meeting, okay with that? Everyone else okay with that, the next meeting?
As long as we can do it the next meeting, because
Definitely.
we grade Rick on these goals and
Yeah,
objectives, so
yeah.
we're already 3 months into the
Sure.
the fiscal year, so it's,
Yes, we are.
Well, that's kind of why, if we're gonna do his review and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but these are the ones going forward.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to take a look at those.
yeah.
All right, so we'll push both of those things, if everyone's okay with that, but, and no matter what, I guarantee we'll be talking about that next meeting. All right, so we've already got 2 agenda items for our next, when is our next meeting, Dorothy?
The 24th?
10:24. All right, deal. All right, so that takes us to the town manager's report.
You're moving very quickly on me here, Madam Chair.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, a few things.
No
First,
one ever says that, by the way, usually when
I'm
we're,
so- oh.
I've had some of the longest meetings in recorded history.
some of these, obviously, the board are already aware of, but the Griffin's Dairy, the appeal of the order of conditions is still pending. An inspection was done on September 15th by DEP representative, and we are waiting for the superseding order of conditions, whatever that may have with regard to this. So hopefully, that superseding order will be very positive, and we can start to move forward with the plans as designed. A positive, very positive note, we have an assistant town clerk. One of the goals of the town clerk for several years, actually told it goes back the better part of the last decade, actually, was to put in place a position of assistant town clerk who can deal with some of the statutory roles of the town clerk in his or her absence. A lot of those become swearing in of elected officials and processing of various paperwork, and particularly where the office is staffed less than it was historically, seemed like a very good idea and economical under those conditions, too. So Barbara Comoletti, who has been the administrative assistant to the town clerk now for 3+ years, is the assistant town clerk, and she's been training for this for several years through the various opportunities that the Town Clerks Association provides. Unfortunately, there's no certification of assistant town clerk. That simply doesn't exist, and there's no way to be a certified town clerk, even if you've completed all the coursework, unless you have been a town clerk for 3 years. So, but she continues to work in that direction anyway. One of the things that is important, too, is that under the most recent version of the public records law, each community is supposed to have a records access officer, and that is part of what we built into her position, into that position description, too. So, and the town clerk, Leanne Adams, really did a lot of work. She researched position descriptions from all over the state. We did some from our office to more or less verify that, not in a distrusting way, but just to ensure that those were fairly standard. So that's really, I just want to point that out and congratulate Barbara. She's done a lot of work and to get into this position, and to really congratulate Leanne Adams, who really did put in a tremendous amount of work. And it's very difficult when you're a person who the only individual in a organization that has statutory ability to do even some minor functions. And this will be a great help to the public who come in on a daily basis, who need those functions. So,
And can I ask a question?
sure.
From a budgetary perspective,
It is within the budget, yes, it is. And we did do a salary survey, and the the position is being paid less than the less than the bottom rung of what other communities are paying this position. So it's really a very minor issue with regard to the budget. And again, the position to part-time hours down there that aren't filled at the moment either, between that and, so this is within the existing budget of the town clerk's department, and was contemplated by the town clerk last year. So, and fortunately, Barbara stepped up, and I think most of you know Barbara for the last several years, and so when you see her, like, I think she's attained at least one goal, one professional goal. So, speaking of professional goals, the Abington Business Association, we have had over 40 representatives now from local businesses who have signed up to participate. The next although again a little bit sluggish, we did participation, and the interest has continued to grow. We do have a next meeting scheduled for October 27th at 9 a.m. and the Ale House is generous enough to host it again at no cost to the town. And we will be having a meeting at that point, an update from Route 18, on Route 18 from some DOT officials, and Senator Keenan's office is working to help coordinate that. So one of the things we hope to do at this meeting is to recruit some leadership from the people that attend from the business community. We have a role to play, but obviously this is an organization that needs to be essentially taken under the wing of the private sector eventually. So, and again, as you also know, Old Colony Planning Council has been working with us on this to try and get some organizational options in place for this group. So if anybody is able to attend, obviously everybody's invited. I know it's a tough hour, but based upon our Survey Monkey replies, this is when the majority of these people say they're available to meet. More so than afternoon or night hours.
And that's a Thursday.
That is, yes, so, from what I understand, it's not rocket science, but Wayne Norling has been very good about getting this set up and tracking the results and keeping us informed so we can move forward. At least I'm told it's not rocket science, but.
For Wayne, it's not.
For Wayne, it's not, right.
The rest of us, it probably is.
Right. Another positive moment, some of the lighting upgrades you might see around Town Hall. Certain areas of the Town Hall where the lights seem to dim and adjust with the traffic. This is a lighting retrofit project that we've completed at the Senior Center, the library, and the Town Hall. These are energy savings that are supposed to pay for themselves through end-grid credits and billing offsets over about 5 years. And one of the things that's, I think, I don't want to let it go unsaid, that this was a project that the SAGE Committee had contemplated a couple of years ago, and for various reasons it was a little bit delayed. So, so it has come to fruition. So obviously I want to thank them for their efforts in the past to get this moving. One of the other things that's on the docket that has been a little sluggish is the potential for doing street lighting retrofits too. So. Another major issue is our participation, ongoing participation with the Mayflower Municipal Health Group. Try to keep the board updated over a period of time. There have been there's been significant increase this past year in rates. There's been some questions raised by over 50% of the group in terms of the management structure of the group, et cetera. We are meeting regularly to discuss what options exist. I do have a meeting. I'm very diligent about keeping our collective bargaining groups involved in what and where we stand. We do have some underwriting analysis going on, so it'll be a lot of the things we would hope to achieve, particularly with regard to staffing and police staffing. As an aside to that, we're trying to look at maybe building in another 2 positions into the regular budget next year to get, would be a total of 4 over 2 years into the police budget if possible. None of that can be achieved with another major increase in health insurance. So this is really something that continues to take up a lot of time, as it should, considering it's the magnitude of it. So
When would decisions have to be made?
by December 31st. So I would hope that by the end of October, we'll have a pretty good handle on what options may exist beyond the Mayflower Health Group, whether they're feasible or not, so that in November, it would be a possibility of me asking the board for a vote or updating you that things are healthier than anybody had conceived with the Mayflower Health Group. So, but December 31st is the deadline for a vote to get out of the group for the following fiscal year.
Okay.
And again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. Rockland has already voted to get out of the group. I know there's at least one, if not two others, substantial subscribers. We have a group of towns that are meeting, which constitutes more than 50% of the group in terms of its overall membership. Even though there's over 30 municipal agencies, some of them are quite small with only a few employees. The group and the South Shore group that I continue to meet with represents well over 50% of the magnitude of the group. That doesn't mean that all of these communities that we've been speaking with are going to get out and form one group. It could very well be that 2 or 3 communities together are. It's certainly credible in terms of the numbers. We're credible on our own from an underwriting standpoint, but we want to be careful that we don't, that we have a little more reassurance of some sub-magnitude of subscribers. So, again, this is ongoing, but it has significant implications for what other things may be important to us all in the years to come, so, from a financial standpoint. A couple other quick updates. I know Andy had asked me for some information recently with regard to the Polerecki property that the town is voted to declare surplus and sell to the Commonwealth. And right now, the title work is ongoing by DCR, and that's due to be completed by November 14th by DCR. Their environmental assessment contract is in place, and their consultant will be doing that. And that assessment is due back to DCR by October 28th. As of now, the public notice that has been put out there for the possible disposition of this ends on January 3rd. So DCR, the representative I'm speaking with, the DCR, hopes that shortly after January 3rd, when the legal processes have concluded, that they'd be in a position to schedule a closing. That's not up to him ultimately. That's up to a lot of the bureaucratic process at DCR. But that's generally the process we're looking at, if it all goes as they hope.
So it will be this fiscal year, you would have.
That's what they hope. That's the best, right. Just for everybody's interest, and I wish I had, this would have been, Andy, this would have been a perfect announcement for you to read, but it's a whole page. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just reminding people that we've recently been awarded the updated community block grant for housing rehab. That's an $800,000 grant between Abington and Whitman that we share. It's the third time it's happened, so it's really, really positive for both communities. Each community will receive about $30,000 for their food pantries as part of this money, but the vast majority of it is for housing rehab. The office is housed at our senior center. I don't know if everybody's aware of that. And anybody that wishes to apply or have a conversation may call their number down there, which is 781-982-2145. It's on our website too, but the reason why it comes up now is because the contract documents have, as of the last couple of business days, have all more or less been solidified, so.
Can you put that on like the front webpage?
Yes, absolutely. And cable.
Yeah. Sure.
And that anyone, that's for any resident.
Any resident.
Yeah.
In fact, historically, up until this grant round, there were specific target areas in any community, and that is not the case anymore with the latest grant awards. So, for instance, if we had to outline a particular section of town and you need an exemption for a project outside of that border of that target area, there are no longer target areas. It's really the entire town of Whitman, the entire jurisdiction of Abington. So that's helpful.
So if someone needs a roof or a heating system,
they may have
you may qualify.
Correct.
For part of this grant.
Correct. And just one last thing, we haven't heard anything further regarding the MADEP permits. I know that from our DPW director, John Stone, has informed me, and some of you might already be aware, that the Brockton, Fall River, Taunton, New Bedford have been trying to put a lot of pressure on the administration to deal with some of the regs that would help bring it more into the state's jurisdiction. But so as of right now, there's no further update on where that stands with regard to approval. And obviously, I mean, you're all aware that without the permit approval from the feds, the contract we have in place is still pending. So, and that's, the last thing I want to bring up is that we had, just the end of last week, had our free cash certified for the year, which general fund free cash is significant. It's about a little over $1.9 million, which, is really great news, but I think we're being realistic about this. A lot of that, again, is legitimate one-time money. About $600,000 of that is from the closeout from betterment financing for the sewer system over the years. We have been informed that belongs in the general fund. There's no feasible way to do anything else with that money. In addition, last year we used about $530,000 from free cash to balance our snow budget at the end of the year, so that wasn't carried over as a deficit this year into our books. And we had a very big year in collecting old motor vehicle excise that were in arrears. So when you put all that together, we're probably in around this, again, the $700,000 range, which has tended to be our annual certification number. So again, this is good news. I know on a personal, from I see what's out there, it would be nice to be able to deal with our Glenowitz Way property without a long-term debt of any kind. We could potentially pay that off in an funding article. So it's good news, but I just don't want to, we have to be cognizant of what it is and what it isn't. They say it's not free and it's not cash. So, but again, it's good news, and certainly it's nice that we might be able to do some additional capital this year than we've been able to do in the past, barring a substantial winter. So, and that's all I have. I know more long-winded than normal, but I apologize.
All right, so that ends our agenda items, other than public comment, which I don't see any. All right, so having said that, also on our agenda is a move into executive session.
But are you guys here for a public comment? No? Okay.
All right, so in order to enter into executive session, there actually is a particular
All right.
motion that would have to be read. Rick, we could either pass it to you?
Sure. On the advice of town
Because
council.
it's an actual, it's quite a motion, so.
Yeah,
that's right.
our annual litigation update has, the K&P have been recommending that when there's updates of this sort, that the various cases be specifically named. So I'll read them quickly to go with the motion. And it's again, very clear that the chairman has determined that discussing these publicly would have a detrimental effect on the town's position. So that's important to also be part of the motion. But we have Board of Health versus Don Kotapski, Glazer versus Planning Board, Stroutman versus Chief of Police, Board of Health versus Charles Fitz, Board of Health versus Marley Montrond, Board of Health versus William and Dorinda Moriarty, Delaney versus Town of Abington, Furness versus Abington Public Schools, Arajo versus Abington Police Department, and then there are two matters there pending. Estates of Franklin Teixeira and Manuel Teixeira versus Town of Abington, and IBPO Local 393 in Town of Abington. So that's all of the issues that we have pending.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, in order to go into executive session, I need everyone to individually agree. Bob?
Yes.
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. So we'll, not to return.
Not to return, yes.
Return. All right, thank you, guys.